La Resortera.
Hello, hello, and thanks for joining us here another week on Pura Vida Perspectives podcast. How are you doing, Jairo? How was your week?
I am doing great. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good. Everything's been good. Feeling more refreshed again. Decided to spend another night in San Jose before coming here so we don't have to complain about the traffic. But I know you got caught up a little bit yourself.
I see you glow by not having to take this long drive.
Exactly. Good night's sleep. Came here in a good mood.
There you go. I love that.
Yeah, and I'm excited about today's topic because we're going to talk about things that North Americans or maybe people coming from outside of Costa Rica might accidentally do that could be offensive.
Not in
here
purpose,
in Costa Rica.
Just the way they were raised.
Yeah.
Or the way they're used to interact.
Exactly. Or maybe they think that that's how you get something done or that's how you act. But so I think it's, you being Costa Rican, me growing up in a North American culture and then coming here, we can both kind of see both sides of it. You also having spent some time in the U.S. So I think this will be a good topic that we can bring up to people.
And I want to give a big shout out to, let me see.
Yes, this did
Joe and Kara. They are the ones that offered this topic. And I think is very, very good to share and talk about. So shout out to Joe and Kara.
Yes, Joe and Kara, thank you. They had messaged us on Instagram and asked about it. So actually, one of the things that they asked about was, are there also any laws that they should be aware of so they make sure not to break them? Honestly, no. It's so hard to get in trouble here in Costa Rica. I always tell people, if you get yourself in trouble, like you've done something real bad.
Yeah.
Like you've done real bad. And they mean like you definitely have.
Yeah. Like the other day I was in the States and it's around 11:30 or so. And I'm getting off the highway to make a right at a local street. And my friend goes like, wait. It says no turn on red. And I'm like, it's 11:30. There are no cars. And she's like, yeah, but there's no turn on red. And I'm like, okay, in Costa Rica, after 10 p.m., 11 p.m., doesn't matter where you at, the light's in red and there's no car coming, boom, you go.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So at least I can speak from the United States. I always had a healthy fear of the police. They'll get you.
Yeah, no, I understand. But my confusion was like, because I thought I was like driving here, where red light after 11 p.m. is just like, all right, nothing coming, on local streets, like downtown San Jose, downtown Alajuela. You just got to make sure that there's no car coming and boom, you turn right or you go straight. Like you said, the laws in Costa Rica are very flexible.
Is that an official law that you can just turn however you want after a certain time?
Ticos,
or is it because
Ticos do it?
Is it because you do it because there's not going to be any repercussions?
Exactly.
See, in the U.S.,
they
know there can absolutely be repercussions, so that's why people aren't going to chance it. So I would say if you follow the laws and the rules as the way they should from North America, you apply that same mentality down here, it's going to be really hard for you to get in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people do really bad things and then might only spend a few years in prison.
Well, people,
to be honest.
I seen people like start a fight at a bar and like grabbing a bottle and boom, bring it in someone's head. They just spend the night. At the police and then they walk out the next day.
They let them go. So yeah, like I said, you'd have to really do something very bad, like taking the life of
someone,
multiple people,
or something like that.
There's actually a show. I'm sorry, we're getting a little off topic. There's a show that I like. It's called The Toughest Prisons. And it's on Netflix. Yes, and we were just watching it last night again. And there's Costa Rica's on there.
Oh, for real?
Yes, it talks about the La Reforma that's in Alajuela and about the conditions and what people. I mean, someone was in there for the unaliving of 2 people, and he got 30-year sentence. So I'm saying, like, just come, follow the rules. If you're coming, you're a normal person. Don't worry, you're not going to break any crazy rules. I know there's other countries and other cultures that have drastically different rules that you could get yourself in trouble.
You can actually walk into a supermarket, get yourself a beer, and pop it out and start drinking it outside the supermarket.
You could, yeah.
Here in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Not in the States, though.
Exactly. No, that would be an open container and yada, yada. Yeah, here. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's so much more relaxed.
Exactly. So you can just walk into a supermarket, open your beer, and drink it while you walk into your car or drink it while you walk into your house. no trouble.
Exactly. So yes, very difficult to get in trouble in Costa Rica. And if you have managed to do it, you've done something.
You did something really bad.
You did something real bad. Yeah. So wanted to at least cover that. But now the other side of the topics, because I think that was important to mention, would be what are some things that could be accidentally offensive. So maybe what have you seen maybe in your personal life? You told me something kind of with your family that happens that you've seen.
Well, me personally, my voice is like very, rah, 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 you know, like, and I get in trouble in my house all the time because of the tone of my voice. I might be saying something that people find offended or that think I'm yelling. Like, for example, my assistant knows me for quite a bit now. And she knows when I'm mad and she knows when I'm just talking loud because that's the way I talk. And sometimes I tell her, like, Tamara, we got to do this, and that. And she plays the audio with her family members around or her friends, and they'll be like, why is your boss yelling at you like that? Mm-hmm. And she's like, he's not yelling. He's just asking me to do something. and she defends me because she knows me. And in my house happens the same way. My oldest daughter say, well, why you yell at my mom like that? I'm like, I'm not yelling. Mm-hmm. I'm just asking, but that's the way my voice operates. And sometimes people who come from North America or Europe or some other places might be like that. You know, like they can sound bossy, but they're just not being bossy. It's the way they speak. But Costa Ricans, in that, since we are so pura vida, we're kind of fragile on that. Like, why are you yelling, man? Chill out.
Yeah, exactly. I find I'm a very direct person too. And I find that in interactions, you have to be a little bit softer. I know the Costa Ricans really value the pleasantries. Like first you could be, actually I just did this morning. So on a Monday morning, I wake up, I look through my messages, and sometimes I'll just continue a message from a Friday as if I'm just responding on that Friday.
No.
Which I did. I did that this morning. So, but
I hate that. And you do that a lot.
I do. Yeah. I do. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I'll literally just jump into it. I'll be like, okay, I think I just messaged the person. We're trying to order some workbooks for the next retreat. And I was like, okay, perfect. Can we pay in card or a transfer? and that's all. And the last message was from that person on Friday. Yeah. I wake up Monday. I'm like, perfect. Can we pay in card and transfer? And I'm going down the list and I'm like, oh, wait. I go back up. I'm like, and then after that I go, hi, how are you? Good morning. How are you?
You do that a lot. Let me tell you, because I have text you on a Wednesday night and you show up on a Friday. Yeah, I love that idea. Let's do that. And I'm like, hold on. This was 2 days ago, lady.
I know. Well, number one, because that could have been through my work phone.
Yeah.
And then anyone on my personal phone, that's just a mess too, because...
And I'm in both. So that got to be more confused sometimes.
Exactly. That's why we got our podcast channel on. So I would notice being direct. You do really, Costa Ricans really value the pleasantries, not just going straight in for the point, straight in for the kill. And again, I know this and I still have to remember. So sometimes after I'll be like, hola, I hope you had a good weekend.
Oh, there you go. And
but you already know me, so I don't really do that. Sorry.
I'm going to share this not to sell, because, we're not here to sell, but the people that work with me, I tell them this. Remember the people that contact us in the car rental, WhatsApp or Facebook? We treat them as friends, man. We don't go robotic on yes, let me send you the quote. We go you say, hey, Jairo, I'm going to get a quote for a car, blah, 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 blah. We'll go hey, Sarah, how are you? How you been? Of course, let me help you out with that quote. What days you want to quote? And, what type of car, blah, 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 blah. Because, like you just mentioned, we as Ticos, we don't go straight to the point. Uh-huh. We just want to know how you doing, how you feeling, what is it that you want. We're very customer service, very, 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 let's talk. And some people, they just don't have time. They just want to, boom, go straight to the point.
Yeah, so I tend to do that. Even with your phone, but I'm not sure who I'm talking to sometimes. I just asked for a quote the other day for a client. Who was I talking to?
When you ask for a quote, you talk to Tamara.
Okay, but does she read all of your messages? Yes. And then ones that are just for you, she just leaves them up there?
She has, this is how much I trust her. She have complete access to my personal WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And whenever I see that there is a quote or something, I text her a finger.
You just text her finger.
That's the signal.
Ah, cool.
So I texted her finger that goes like this.
Like the
like pointing up. And when she's seen it, she knows that there's a quote or something for her to see on my phone, on my WhatsApp.
Oh, cool.
So that's how much I trust her. And she can have access to any conversation. She doesn't open it. She's very respectful. She only opens the ones that she knows that are work related.
Cool.
So whenever you talk about getting a quote, you talk to her.
Okay.
Any other issue or any other topic, I'll reply directly. Like the other day when you asked me about the retreat that, we should invite people to that retreat or tell them what it is. She just say, a text from Sarah about a retreat.
Oh.
And then I'll see it and then I just reply to you.
Oh, that's nice. Well, cool. All right. I was always wondering how that worked.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll try to remember my pleasantries. Being too direct. Also, I've seen sometimes in North America, if there's an issue with a service, someone might think that the way to resolve that is by yelling and like threatening. That does not work here. So if that's you, I want you to take that mentality and remove it completely from your brain. That is I just had an example of this from the other day. I don't know if I should say it, but I kind of had to step into a situation and kind of smooth things over between the person from North America and the Costa Ricans that were trying to do their job, because this person was trying to resolve the situation with came out aggressive. And I was like, yo. And then they kind of got mad. Well, you're not helping. I said, I'm not helping you with that attitude. Exactly. I said, check yourself. I was like, before you wreck yourself. But I said, I'm not going to help you when you're talking to me like this or when you're talking to them like this. And I just continued doing what I was doing. And I said, when you're ready to talk respectfully and in a calm manner, I will come in and translate and help smooth this out. And then I apologized to the Costa Ricans and I said, I'm very sorry about
Sarah
this.
mom came out.
It just makes me angry.
Mama Sarah.
I don't like to see anyone disrespected for me. So don't come down and disrespect people because it's not going to work. They're not going to go, oh my God, they're going to tell my boss and I might get a complaint and I might lose my job. No, their boss will be like, yeah, you should ignore them or make their life harder. Like Costa Ricans will then make whatever process you think you're speeding up and that you're making better by being, sorry, I'm like an asshole. By being a jerk.
Yep.
You are now really hurting yourself because now this person is going to take longer or not even, whatever you're trying to do is going to go right to the bottom of their pile.
Yeah.
And so just don't do it that way. Just don't. And don't jump to conclusions on things whenever
That's very important.
Working with, because I saw that this person, there can be a lot of miscommunications because if you don't have I have miscommunications and I'm fluent in Spanish.
Well, let me tell you a quick story. We're in the States with a friend of mine. He doesn't speak English. And I'm tired, late at night. He's dancing and drinking beer. And he grabs the menu and he says, like, what to say here? He was asking about chicken wings. But there were two different types of chicken wings. And I speak English, but I didn't know the difference of it. I was like, man, this is chicken wings and these are chicken wings, but I don't know the difference because the description on the bottom, I don't really understand, what it means. And he was like, no, you don't want to help me just because you're mad or tired. I was like, what's up with you, bro? I just really don't know what the difference means. And the same could happen here in Costa Rica. Like somebody can come and, try to read the menu in Spanish, but at some point they might get like, all right, so what it says, I don't understand. And they might ask you, Sarah, can you translate? But you might be confused too. It's not like you don't want to help. It's that you really don't know. And you have to ask the waiter. Yeah,
absolutely. Or gosh, sometimes you can't even translate things in English because they just don't make sense. Sometimes my fiance will be like, oh, what did that person say? And I'm like, it was such nonsense, I can't even translate it. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I would say don't always jump to conclusions on things too. And don't think that people are always out to get you. Yes, there can be situations where you need to be careful and maybe someone is trying to pull one over on you. But sometimes it really could just be a miscommunication. Maybe they didn't bring you X amount of an object because you didn't pay for X amount. You paid for less.
Yes.
So don't all of a sudden jump to a conclusion, think you're right, get all high and mighty, be rude, and then just to end up looking like a jerk in the end because maybe you were completely wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just being no rude or yelling, being direct, pleasantries, not acknowledging or smiling. So maybe in other cultures, like in North America, I know things gotten a little chilly up there. People don't even seem to wave at each other anymore. Yes. On my street, we all wave to each other. Everyone acknowledges each other. So when you come to Costa Rica, be kind and acknowledge people and smile at people, because you might be coming up from a place where people don't do that, and then you look like a lunatic if you start doing that. Here, that's normal, and people are going to think you're like rude. People are going to think you're rude
because you're not waving back.
If you're not waving back, if you're not acknowledging, if you're not smiling, that can be considered rude here, because that is the culture.
It's funny how in rural areas, you're driving by, you see an old guy, just working there on the field, with a machete, and you're driving by, you look at him, and he stopped the machete, and he goes like, "Hey!" And then you're driving, you go, "Hey!" Back at the guy.
Oh.
You never see him in your life, but it would be rude because he stopped working
just to wave at you, to let you go, to let you, with the wave saying, "I hope you're doing well, have a nice trip," or whatever. Just wave back at the guy. And that's amazing, right? So I go on my bike ride a lot in the morning, and I always pass the pipa guy who's selling pipas, so I wave at them. And then I go down, and then there's a security guard that sits in this box at one of these gated communities. I always wave at him.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if it's just a quick, and then there's the guy who's tending to the horses. I wave at him. You just wave at everybody.
So again, as we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, these are things that you might accidentally do without knowing that is common here.
Exactly, because where you live, you might not just be waving at everyone and their grandma. And that's okay. That's understandable. Yeah. Maybe that's not the culture anymore where you live. Back in the day it was, but maybe not anymore, and that's okay. But here, much more normal just to be waving. And when in doubt, just wave. Yeah. When in doubt, wave and smile. Yeah. And then another thing, I like the buen provecho. That's
buen provecho.
You want to explain that courtesy?
Buen provecho, it's like, let's say it's almost noon, and there's a text, or I need my assistant to do something. And I say, Tamara, this, so, and so. And she's like, all right, I'm having lunch. I'll do it when I'm done. And my response will be, okay, provecho. How do you translate provecho?
It's like bon appetit, like enjoy your food.
Yeah, like enjoy your food. Like if someone is telling you at any point during the day, I'm having a meal, I'm eating lunch or breakfast or whatever, you tell them provecho. Something I want to share that I seen with people that do speak Spanish from other countries like Argentina, Spain, Mexico. They say like, I'm amazed how Costa Ricans reply to a thank you. They say con gusto.
Mm-hmm.
Con gusto translated being my pleasure. Like you say to somebody, hey, thank you for helping me out. They'll tell you, all right, no problem. Okay, no problem. Or okay, good. Here in Costa Rica, 95% of the people will tell you con gusto.
Mm-hmm.
And con gusto means my pleasure. So people like, when you really ask a Costa Rican a favor, they're not doing it because you're asking for it. They're asking because they really have the pleasure to help you out. Con gusto.
Exactly. And I love that. And circling back to the provecho, I've heard that a lot in public. So I'll be, let's say, out to lunch.
Starting to eat, or when they bring you your food.
Eating. Well, even if you're with someone, if you're in a group, it's kind to say that, hey, provecho, everybody. Mm-hmm. And then, but even strangers. So let's say if I've sat down somewhere, maybe I'm alone, maybe I'm with some other people, maybe someone just happens to kind of squeeze by the table, or for some reason you make eye contact, they'll even say provecho. Yeah. Like some random stranger. So I'm just saying that's kind of a cool thing.
Have you ever been to El Mercado?
Is that in San Jose?
San Jose or Alajuela or Heredia. It's like the most popular cities.
Yeah.
Like en El Mercado.
Area, market.
Yeah, en El Mercado, there are these little sodas. We spoke about food a long time ago. And they have like 5-6 tables. But if I'm alone and Sara's coming with her boyfriend and her daughter, and there's room in my table, they just sit right there. Even though we didn't know each other. And like when they bring their food in, if I'm already eating, I'll say provecho to them.
Yeah.
Or they'll say it back to me.
Yeah.
And it's very common that you eat with people you don't know. In places like El Mercado.
Yeah, because they're small. I mean, there's only limited seating available. People, it's usually you're kind of in and out because they're sodas, they're quick food. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a cool way to get to know someone or sit down with someone new.
Yeah. I actually, I don't know what else you have there, or because I wanted to mention how can accidentally Ticos can be mean to people from North America.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were going to talk about punctuality, which this can be one thing that is a vice versa thing.
Yes. Like in my case, I'm a very punctual person. Today I got late because of traffic.
And then you told me you were running late, so then I ran even later. And I wasn't even in traffic. I was 5 minutes away, so I'm sorry.
So listen, this is me thinking. I was like, okay, Sarah's always late, always. Not one time she has been here before me.
But that's not my fault because I'm always in traffic. I leave early.
I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying you're never early. So today that I was going to be late, I told Sarah, I'm running a little late because traffic is horrible. So I'll be there at 9:15. Sarah got here at 9:30.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I don't trust it. No, because I texted you. I was in. No.
Yeah, I told you I was here. Look.
And then I said I'm almost there. I was in the Uber.
Yeah, 9:19.
Your thing said 9:17. That was your arrival. So I said perfect.
Then I saying you I'm here at 9:19. You said almost here 9:19.
Yeah.
Then you arrived like 5-10 minutes later.
No, because my ride was only 5 minutes and I was already in my ride for minutes.
You arrived 9:25. Anyway, punctuality.
Okay, except 9:25. I don't accept 9:30.
Okay, so being punctual. My wife, oh my God. Like if we have an activity at 7 p.m., I tell her it's at 6.
Oh, that's good.
So she can be ready by the time we actually have to be there. Meetings, I hate being late for meetings.
Oh, no. Yeah, that bothers me too.
Like for this, we kind of do the podcast for fun too, to kind of relax, chill out. So we were just giving you an example.
Well, last minute I decided to Uber rather than take my truck. So if I had taken my truck, I would have been here before you, I'm sure.
So what I'm saying is punctuality can be both ways to North Americans and Costa Ricans. Unfortunately, there is a saying here, we call it Tico time. That means that we say an hour and you arrive an hour and a half, 2 hours later. You're having a Tico time. So you're being delayed, which is to some people being disrespectful.
Yeah, I think it's very disrespectful. For me, it's disrespectful. I mean, if there's a reason or like whatever, I was never going to be mad that you were late this morning. You're in traffic. What can you do about it?
Yeah.
I didn't have much of an excuse, but but an hour and a half at that point, I'm not waiting for anyone. Yeah. And there are a lot of Costa Ricans who don't like that. No. So it's not that all Costa Ricans run on Tico time, because I work with a lot of people that I pick, to work with aren't like that. They really do respect the time of others.
Let me tell you a quick story that it happened to me on a Mother's Day. We went out to eat on a Mother's Day, and our food was taking almost 2 hours.
Oh.
And I told my wife, I'm leaving. Are you coming with me or not? She was there with her family too. And she was like, no, I can't leave. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm leaving. And I got up and I took off. 2 hours for a meal. Come on.
That's crazy.
Obviously, she got upset. I did apologize to her afterwards. But, I mean, that's very disrespectful. If you can handle these many people on a restaurant, I mean, just close your doors and say, all right, we're so loud or something. We just spoke about holidays in Costa Rica. I didn't mention this on that podcast, but never go out to eat on a Father's Day or Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Meals will take forever.
Actually, we did go out to eat for Mother's Day. It was my friend Sierra's birthday. Sierra.
Oh, yeah.
So we went out for her birthday.
Shout out to Sierra.
And
her kid he cut his hair, right?
I don't know. I think so. But I don't know. Kids' hairs grow so fast. It's probably grown out again. Who knows?
Tiger.
Yep, Tiger. So we went out on her birthday, which was also Mother's Day. But then it was a bunch of us girls. We were there forever. I want to say we showed up at 6:15, no later than 6:30. We didn't get out of there till 9:30.
Yeah.
And like some of my stuff was like coming in reverse.
Yeah.
Like the meal. I was like, wait, I got my entree, but I never got my appetizer. It was really slow. It was okay. It's not like we were there to have a quick meal anyways, but it was, and I don't really get annoyed, but it was to the point where I was like, all right.
Never go out to eat on a holiday.
I learned. Because I thought, okay, I'm going to be home by like 8, not 9:30, almost 10.
Something that people also find disrespect, and this is the other way around, and it happened to you and you actually recorded it and uploaded it in our Instagram, people beeping.
Oh, the beeping.
In the traffic.
Oh, yes. I think it's rude. So in North America, that is rude. And then my fiance gets so mad at me when I don't use my horn. Why aren't you using your horn? You need to be using your horn. And I'm like, no, that's mean. I only use my horn if I really need to. Like if that person's about to hit me or something crazy, I will use my horn. But otherwise, I don't need to use my horn.
My mom, I use the horn a lot. I gotta be honest.
Because you're Costa Rican.
I gotta be honest. My mom gets so pissed when I'm in the States and I horn.
That's what I'm saying.
She's like, yeah, they obviously know you're a Latino because only Latinos use their horn.
That's what I'm saying. So I almost never use it. But then if someone beeps at me, I'm like, what are you beeping at me for? And then I start beeping back at them. Like one time I came out to pull out somewhere, but I was fine. But then the person's beeping at me and I'm like, no, you beep. And I'm beep, beep, beep. And I'm like, it's the only time you'll see me angry. But I don't use my horn unless someone uses it on me first. And then I'm just mad because they had no reason. Don't even get me started. We talked about driving. Someone else will do something wrong and then get mad at you for being mad at what they did wrong. Yeah. They get all...
So this morning, this lady didn't let me go through. So another lady in the back let me. Then I jumped to the second lane. And then the first lady that was not allowing me to go through was asking me for it. And I was like, it ain't going to happen.
Like, nope.
Yeah, so don't get offended if someone beeps at you.
Yes. Because I get offended when someone beeps at me. I'm like, I didn't know anything wrong. Like, what are you beeping at me for? So yes, that is definitely a difference as where you as someone from North America might get offended. And I understand there's other cities in North America where people use their horns all the time. Things people have to remember on this podcast is these are just our perspectives. Yep. No, when I say North America, I know everything that we're saying doesn't apply to every single city where everyone's from.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there's some cities where, gosh, people, New York City, you hear horns all day long. You know, so we're just saying in general.
Yeah.
People take things real literally online.
All right. So remember, if you have a business that you want to advertise in our podcast, hit us on Instagram and we'll be mentioning you here. All
right. Well, hopefully you guys learned something from the episode. So now you know, okay, what can you do when you come to not accidentally offend someone? But then also maybe what are some things that can happen to you here that you aren't going to feel offended by in your experience. So hopefully you guys learned something. We appreciate you being here and listening and following us along. Remember to check us out on Instagram and YouTube and all that good stuff. So.
Pura vida perspectives. Pura vida.
Esto fue una producción de La Resortera.